In the 1950s and 60s, the Israeli government started enforcing another law of confiscation, one that enabled it to acquire land so that new apartment buildings, new districts, even new cities could be developed for the hundreds of thousands of immigrants who continue to arrive from the Jewish diaspora. Ismail Abu Shhadi's father was a victim of this policy.
There's a law in Israel for the appropriation of lands. And this law I don't believe in. And I've been arrested many times because of it. I don't believe that this is my land and then you come and take it and then it's confiscated. Why? This is mine. These issues are things that get to the bone of a person, where you were and where you've come to. My father, God rest his soul, was a landlord, an owner of farms. And we've not a single inch left. Do you know how my dad died? We had a farm here. It was confiscated. They came to uproot the trees. And my dad just sat on the street and started crying and crying. And he fell. Me and my brother carried him to the French hospital. And he died. He died crying over trees. So this is something you do not forget. My father died. And my father was a big guy, not like me. He was bigger and taller and wider. He was a farmer, 90 years old. They uprooted his trees. They uprooted his heart.
Omar 66's daughter, Hadil, tells the story of the planting and the uprooting of Jaffa's orange groves as one of her subjects in a school project that weaves a history of her family into a history of the city. The 66 were once a landed family, just like the Gharghours and Jdays. But the last of their land was confiscated in the 1960s when her father was a small boy. Omar remembers when things changed.
My childhood was beautiful, really. Lots of happiness. When the land was taken and they started to dry out the pool and the bulldozers started to enter and take out the trees, this to me was a huge shock. They stole something that was very special to me. There was one tree, when they tore it from its roots, it really hurt. It's like they ripped out something that was part of me, part of my body.
This childhood tragedy marked Omar 66's life. It provoked him to become a political activist and community leader. He has committed himself to protesting Israeli policies towards Palestinian land. He has been arrested many times, and his hardware business on Ajami Street has suffered from his divided attention. Omar takes me to the southern end of Ajami Street, to a neighborhood that only 20 years ago was one of the last surviving orange groves belonging to the Dakke family. Now the area is a jumble of agricultural activity and housing, some of it erected without the permission of the authorities. But the authorities almost never give permission for Palestinians to build in Jaffa. So if members of the Dakke family wish to continue to live on what was once their land, they have to do so without a license. We arrive in the courtyard of the home of a member of the Dakke family, Adnan. The home was recently visited by an Israeli demolition squad. They destroyed the first floor of the house because it had been built without permission, despite the fact that it is all but impossible for Palestinians to get such permission.
There are planes that photograph Jaffa almost every week, so every new house or new roof is quickly designated for demolition. This is the catastrophe that we live inside, the Nakba of today. On one hand, they tell us the area is blocked, you're not allowed to build here. On the other hand, they give other people the chance to build. As you can see over there, big houses for the Jews and not for Arabs. Their goal is a political one, to get us out of this place.
Omar is the head of Rabita, a Jaffa-based political organization that supports building projects which defy Israeli law.
When I see people whose homes were destroyed, it's like they destroyed my heart. It's like cancer spreading through my body every day. There's probably not a single destroyed house in Jaffa where I wasn't present for the demolition. We try at the very least to give hope to the people and tell them not to be afraid. Don't be afraid, we're with you, we will rebuild for you, we will fix it for you. Let them destroy, we will build. But we are losing strength. We are tired. We don't have the financial resources. They are wearing us down in a frightening way.
Adnan still lives in the house, even though water pours into the ground floor every time it rains. One of her sons is handicapped. Another has gone to America, unable to take any more of life in Jaffa. But Adnan is remarkably philosophical about her fate.
They destroyed the house and that's it. My son fought them and then the police came. And everyone came and they destroyed the house. It's gone. Yes, we're still here, thank God. What can we do, my child? We have to live, whether it's sweet or sour.
Not every project that Omar is involved in is destined for destruction. He's one of the key figures in the creation of the first Arab independent school in Jaffa. The school gives the teaching of Arabic equal status with Hebrew, and it encourages its pupils to learn the stories of Jaffa and the Palestinian nation. The building was once one of the grand houses of Jaffa, like the ones on Ajami Street. It used to be surrounded by orange groves. Its magnificence has survived even the boisterous treatment it gets from the pupils. The school is financially precarious, dependent to a large extent on donations from Palestinians living abroad, people who left Jaffa 60 years ago, and their children, who still feel a sense of connection and responsibility. Some of the most generous benefactors are those who headed towards the Gulf states. Their support increases the possibility that Palestinian life will be sustained in Jaffa. I visit Dubai to meet some of the Abu Jabin clan, who help fund several charities in Jaffa. The Abu Jabins are the very model of a successful extended family, carrying between them the passports of Kuwait, Jordan, France, Britain, America. The list goes on. My visit encourages the Abu Jabins to sing Palestinian songs, most of them taught by the patriarch of the family, Khairi Abu Jabin. Khairi devised artful strategies of teaching his children about their lost homeland while they were a captive audience in long car journeys.
We used to take our children in the car to see and to teach them everything in the car, because if he is in the car, he has to listen. He can't go out. Then I gave him some poets, he has to listen. I gave him some geography, he has to listen. I gave him some everything. We used to take them to Europe in the car.
The lessons in the car seem to have been passed on through generations.
For me personally and my family as a whole and the family that I hope to have in the future, my main goal is to always teach them that you're a Palestinian and you always need to know that it's your right to go back to your homeland and you need to keep fighting for that.
But having the right passport does give you the chance to visit your homeland.
I went to Palestine. Yes. First time in my life was maybe 99. And it was the first time, and it was for a trip, it was a business trip. Right. And it was for 3 days. I couldn't make it to Jaffa because they kept me almost 4 or 5 hours. They checked every single thing, you know, although I'm British. And they were talking to me in a very, very unfriendly way, very unfriendly. It was a tough experience. But one day...
Lubna Abul Jabin, one of Khairi's daughters, did manage to get to Jaffa.
She loved it. She went to Jaffa. She went to ask about our family. She found an old pharmacy. The man in there, he knew everybody, and it was great. He told her, your grandparents were here, and it was very nice. Yeah. And she loved it.
Palestinians with an emotional connection to Jaffa turn up from all over the world to the little pharmacy on Ajami Street.
I want to thank him because he helped Lubna, my daughter, to see Jaffa. She took a photo on the place I was born. Really? This, with her 2 sons. Right here. This is Lubna, my youngest. This place where was my house demolished. Right here. Yes. The Zionist demolished all Manshiyeh.
The Abul Jabin family house in Jaffa was, appropriately enough, in Abul Jabin Street in Manshiyeh, the district most fiercely fought over during the final conflict between Zionist militias and Palestinian Arabs in 1948. Manshiyeh was half destroyed in the Nakba. And in the 1960s, the Tel Aviv municipality finished the job. So the entire area to the north of Ajami Street has vanished.